How's it going, motherfuckers? So I wanted to make a little video here, a little bit about the aftermath of the Enzo Amore situation with Philomena, and you know, everything we saw with I Am Sam Cooke revealing what really went on. And you know what really depresses me about society and people in general in the internet age we live in? There's so many people that, like, I've made videos like this in the past. I've talked about how it's like impossible for people to have successful relationships with the internet. And, you know, just with how we take in media nowadays and how we get our information. And that has a lot to do with our character and, you know, who we are and how we analyze situations and people. And we pass judgment on people through short video clips. We pass judgment on people through what other people say about others. And I've said this time and time again. I said this is going to lead us down a very, very slippery slope. And we are going to fall into a chasm of enormous problems right at the end of that slippery slope. And, you know, I've talked about this in regards to politics and just society in general. We are going to do ourselves in as a human race because of the way we behave and the way how we just judge people just like that. We don't even know the person on the personal scale. We don't even know what thoughts are running through their heads. We don't know anything about it. And background is so important when it comes to being able to properly analyze a situation and really pass. No, and the thing is, we've all heard it in the Bible. The only one who could judge somebody properly and justly is God. Now, we know that sometimes there are exceptions to that rule, such as criminals facing, you know, sentences from judges, and they get what they deserve. But at the end of the day, the one who makes the final call is God at the end of the day. And I don't mean to get super preachy on you or anything like that, but, you know, anyway, you get good feelings about people, you get certain vibes. It's just a shame that most of the time, that when we get good vibes, it's about the wrong people. And we find out that all our heroes, such as the ones in Hollywood, and, you know, you look around you at people who we thought once were good, you know, you see all, like, the horrible things that Oprah Winfrey has said in the past, all the horrible racist stuff that she said, and, you know, people revered her as a hero in the past. And there's people that are going to keep on seeing her as a hero. There's a whole bunch of people out there who will still continue to, you know, fall into lockstep with these people, even though we know that they're horrible individuals, even though we know things about, like, there's going to be people that are still going to get behind Harvey Weinstein. There's still going to be people that are fans of his plays, and, you know, you could say that their work has nothing to do with them personally, and that's, you know, that is a claim that you could make. But where am I going with all this? I'm just pretty much just kind of shooting from the hip here. Just going off the top of my head. But I'm just saying how fucked up in general society is. How we think we have all the answers and we don't. And that was the situation with Enzo. Everybody's like, oh, he raped her, he raped her, he raped her. Oh my God, he's disgusting. I don't like his character on TV. I don't like the part he plays. Enzo Amore is an actor. His real name is Eric Arndt. You don't know anything about him. You don't know him personally. You don't know the thoughts that were running through his head. You don't know if the man felt scared. You don't know if the man felt alone. I mean, here is the thing. Here is the thing about this situation that drives me crazy. And I know I've already went on 30-minute rants about the man and his situation, but I'm coming at this from a different perspective. I'm just saying how quick we are to judge how we're quick to abandon people. And the thing is that we have all these people out there that are humanitarians. We have people out there marching for women's rights. We have people out there marching for gay rights. We have people that, you know, think that they're holier than thou. They think that they're here for a higher purpose, that they go out in the streets, they march, they yell, they scream, they cry on the news, they cry, you know, for illegal immigrants. They think that, oh man, we're making a difference here. And you didn't even realize that when you were casting a man out and you were judging him, and the thing is, it turned out that the girl was a liar, that she faked a pregnancy in the past. It turned out that she was texting that she was actually elated, that she was happy that she was with Enzo Amore, lying there in the bed with a famous wrestler. And before all that information came out, where the truth came out, and even that, you had to think to yourself, this was back in October. And the first person that she runs to is not a police officer. She doesn't run to anybody, any of the authorities. She runs to TMZ to tell her story. And you believed her. You believed her even though she looked like a whack job. Even though she looked like she had problems, even though it looked like she had mental handicaps, you still believed her story. Because you had something against Enzo Amore, because you didn't like the character he portrayed on TV. And I know you might find this to be funny, you know, oh, you know, you're just defending a wrestler, he's just a wrestler. It doesn't matter if he's a wrestler or he's a normal human being who doesn't have any celebrity to his name, such as you and I. Can you imagine how it feels? I mean, you could say, okay, well, Enzo needs to learn to keep his dick in his pants. Enzo needs to learn that he just can't, you know, go around and use his celebrity and say, oh, well, I have 1 million Instagram followers, so that means that, you know, that you need to have sex with me. Look, that's Enzo's business. Whoever he wants to sleep with, if he wants to, you know, risk getting some nutty girl pregnant, that's his problem. It's neither here nor there. The thing is that you're going to get behind the arrest in the prosecution of an innocent man, all because some nut job, you know, needed to come up with some excuse of why she couldn't make it to her drug rehab meeting because she had to lie to her father. And because of that, because Enzo felt scared and unsure of what was going to happen, he didn't tell the WWE, he didn't tell his employer that he was being investigated by the police. And because of all that, because of the media firestorm, because of the backlash, WWE felt that they had no choice, that they had to let the man go. So not only was he abandoned by the people that watch him on TV, not only was he abandoned by his own employer, but also the legal system abandoned him as well, because I mean, there was no evidence. I mean, there was no just cause. All it was her word against his, and for some reason, I mean, that in itself is sexist. Does anybody not realize that? You're taking the word over the woman over the man. That is sexist. And would you believe that actually sometimes men get raped by women? And I know you're going to come back and you're going to say to me, well, Brad, but that's impossible. Because, you know, how could a woman rape a man? Aren't men stronger? Oh, what's that you say? Are you actually admitting that men, because of their testosterone levels, are naturally usually stronger than women? Are you a sexist? And by the way, did you assume my gender? Ah. So the rabbit hole gets deeper, doesn't it? You notice what I'm getting at here. Do you see the hypocrisy of society? So we're always going to take the word over the woman as opposed to the man, despite zero evidence. Because, you know, it's naturally assumed because the man would be able to pin down the woman due to his natural strength due to testosterone versus estrogen. But, you know, you have a movement that you know, says the exact opposite. that women are just as strong as men, that women are equal to men in every respect. Doesn't that actually fly in the face of that logic? Why is nobody talking about this? Why do I have to be the only one on the fucking internet to come up with this shit? I don't understand it. To me, it's not like I'm even being philosophical here. It's not even like I'm coming up with like these new ideas. It's just like it's out there in the open for everybody to see. And I made several topics on this, and I haven't mentioned it once because there's so much to get to. There's so many ways you can look from so many different perspectives, and you can see the hypocrisy. How you could just see the blatant carelessness when looking at situations like this. Because the fact of the matter is there are women who also rape men. You see all these and you know, you would think, I haven't seen a clear-cut statistic, but I would assume that maybe more men might rape women. But how come I just recently saw yet another story of how a teacher had sex with an underage student, which was like 13 years old. That's rape. That's statutory rape, which you might say, okay, it's a little bit different, but it's still, you know, you are convincing that youngster to have sex with you. And you know what the funny thing is? It's like nobody cares. You see a bunch of people commenting on it on Facebook, and I did see it. People were commenting, oh yeah, that's awesome. I wish I could have been in his situation, fucking that teacher. And the funny thing is, yeah, she got arrested, but the scrutiny, it wasn't there. You hear a couple of, you know, women like sounding off on it, oh, it's disgusting and everything. But if the shoe was on the other foot of the opposite gender of a man doing this, and the male teacher convinced a young female student to have sex with him, do you know that the backlash would be like 10 times that of the woman? And you gotta believe that that's true in every fucking way. There's no doubt about it that the backlash would be tenfold, would be 20-fold, would be 30-fold. I mean, there would be no way that that guy would ever be able to show his face in public again. And yet, you know, it's like you get a couple of comments, you know, just opposing, you know, her behavior as a teacher. But you know, when the men do it, it's so much worse. And why? It's the same crime. And if we're talking about equality, then why should it matter? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Especially when you are putting the message out there that we're exact equals. That it doesn't matter if there's testosterone, if there's estrogen. It doesn't matter who's stronger, who could pin the other person down and have sex with them more easily. Doesn't matter, because you see there are different forms of rape, and people, they get raped every day. There's statistics out there where there's a rape occurs in the world like every minute, every 30 seconds. So you can see that there was possible rapes happening around the world at 30-second minute intervals, or whatever the case may be, of you watching this very video. But no one wants to talk about this stuff because, like, I guess I'm the only one that has to talk about the uncomfortable situations, the uncomfortable truths, as they call them. So it's like, do you know how that must feel for Enzo Amore, that this man just, you know, he's just following his manly instincts. He wants to have sex with a woman. It is the time for him to have sex. The man's feeling horny. He wants to do it with the girl. So he goes ahead and he finds himself a girl. And then the girl just decides, you know what? Oh, something occurs in her life where she feels it's convenient. Using it as a convenience, using something as serious as rape, something as mentally damaging to most women as rape, you know, it's really truly disgusting, and I don't really see enough people just outraged at the girl. I see more people talking about, oh, well, Enzo made a bad situation, made a bad situation worse because, he chose to have sex with this girl. He needs to be more careful and stuff like that. Are you kidding me? Are you going to say that about yourselves? You're going out to the bar, you're looking to pick up some chicks, you're looking to get laid, and so say you take that girl home. And then she decides, oh, you know what? I don't like this. I want to get back at this guy or whatever. For whatever reason, that girl is sick. She's got like borderline personality disorder or whatever. And she's just like a fucking mental case. She could just turn around basically and go to the police department and file a report against you. And the thing is, she had agreed to it. It was consensual and all that. And so are we going to say, are you going to still sit there and you're still going to say, oh, well, you know what? I should have been more careful about my choices, right? Yeah, you should have been more careful about your choices, right? Just because you were trying to follow your manly instincts and have sex, you're a horrible person, right? So that's basically the same thing you're saying about Enzo. Oh, he's a celebrity, so he's held to a different level. But I've said this in the past. Why? Why are celebrities held to are they put on a different plateau than the rest of us? They're still human beings, right? They're not aliens. They're not other sorts of people. They're not. They're not lions, tigers, and bears. So I don't really understand that argument. They're still humans. This is just, people have these natural urges, for all those people, who like to talk about, biology and everything like that, oh, science. Well, there it is. There's the science. So for you to sit there and criticize a man just because he wanted to have sex, isn't that how we all are? And you're going to criticize the man because of that? And you're barely criticizing the girl who lied. And it's so obvious she lied. Sam Cooke put out all the information out there. He showed that she is a liar in the past. She's still a liar to this day. Why is she not in police custody? Why is she not facing some sort of charges? She lied about something serious. She wasted taxpayer dollars. First of all, keeping this guy in a cell overnight or whatever it was. The whole thing about dedicating police time and effort to arresting an innocent man. And she doesn't have to face scrutiny of any sort? You've got to be fucking kidding me. And you people want to sit there and you want to criticize the man. Oh, his judgment. Like your judgment's any better. Seriously, let's take a look at your life. How about you take a look in the mirror? How many bad judgment calls have you made? Huh? Probably quite a few, I would say. Doesn't matter who I'm talking to, who happens to hear this. Everybody's made bad decisions. I made bad decisions. You've made bad decisions. The guy next to you's made bad decisions. It doesn't matter. People make bad decisions. And yes, we have to face the repercussions of our decisions. But if you're not guilty of a crime, then you should not face any repercussions. What did he do that was wrong? The girl wanted to lie in bed with him and have sex. So that's a crime now? What? Anytime the girl wants to say, oh, you know what? I didn't really like having sex with that guy. I changed my mind. You can't. It's not no backsies. There's nothing like that. You can't just say, oh, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to make this consensual sex. Because I had one too many to drink. I'm sorry. It's like how scary is that? That like you meet this is such a classic scenario of guys meeting girls at bars and shit. And, okay, so I know it wasn't at a bar for Enzo's situation. I think they were, smoking weed and shit. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, so, you chose to get under the influence. Whatever your actions are, first of all, you're using an illegal substance. You're not drinking responsibly. So here's the thing. You should be held accountable for what you do. And not legally, but if you made a bad decision while under the influence, then that's your fault, right? So what do we have to get down? Do we have to micromanage these situations? Okay, well, technically, the girl wasn't in the right frame of mind when she had sex, so she should be able to have legal prosecution done to another individual, just simply because she made a bad decision. I'm sorry. Once you cross that threshold, society and the justice system becomes Mickey Mouse. It becomes a fucking joke, to say the least. You can't just all of a sudden say, just out of the clear blue sky, oh, you know what? I want to consider this to be rape. Even though I gave the go-ahead, I didn't resist. Now, if the girl was kicking and screaming and said, no, 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 okay, that's a different story. By all means, that man should face legal prosecution, and he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, because no does mean no. And it's not no, it's not, you know, sometimes in sex girls say no, no, no. You know, it's, you know, that's a different story. No means yes. You know something? I'll never forget. It was actually in high school when Kobe Bryant was facing his first sex scandal charge, or was it his only sex? I don't know. It feels like the guy's had like 35 different sex scandals. Whatever the case may be. I remember a teacher said the thing is with a story like that, you know, the girl's in bed with a famous celebrity, chances are that she was resisting are pretty slim. The guy's loaded. What girl wouldn't want to, you know, get in the good graces of a guy that has that much money? So a lot of times when a girl says no, 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 it means yes, yes, yes. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what I'm talking about, then, you know, I don't know how sexually active you are. I'm just saying, basically. I'm just saying, not to alienate anybody, but sometimes that's just the case. Don't mean to sound like a brute. I don't mean to sound like a Neanderthal, but that's just the case. That's just the reality of the act. That's just the reality of how men and women are. As you can kind of see, you know, sex and relationships are complicated. I mean, many people have crazy ideas. I mean, you've got this cuckold thing that's going on. You take a look at some of the shit that they've got going on in the porn industry. I mean, it's crazy. There's so much to talk about on that situation. I'm not going to get to that in this video. I'm just saying there's just so much crazy shit going on out there. The way people's minds are. I'm sorry, but there are just certain situations where I'm sorry, you just can't get the cops and you can't get the justice system involved because it's really just your problem that you're just so much of a sicko. I'm sorry. You just can't do that. You can't just all of a sudden, you know, like, you know, load up on drugs and alcohol and just, you know, make bad decisions and then just, you know, oh, and you got to count on the justice system to fix your problems. What you need is medication. What you need is a psychologist. What you need is to really take a good look at your life, and your family needs to make an intervention, and they need to really do more. Philomena's father really needs to take responsibility for his daughter. I know she's a fully grown woman, so there's not so much that he really can do anymore. I mean, like, at this point, it's kind of like a lost cause. But, you know, if he realizes that his daughter is a certain way and that she could just not be in public like this, you know, without causing like a major scene and accusing people of raping her, then he should probably, you know, do something. I mean, he should probably, I know you don't want to call the cops your own daughter, but he should probably put her in a mental hospital. If she's that much of a danger to herself and, of course, more importantly, others, because she's accusing people of impregnating her, accusing people of raping her, it is time to keep this girl in containment. It is time to quarantine this girl from the rest of society before she does it again. And why, after the first time she faked the pregnancy, why is she allowed now to still go on and have the freedom of accusing somebody of rape? This shouldn't be. You shouldn't be allowed to fucking walk the streets and get yourselves into these situations, because, you know, you can't just allow somebody to come into society like this and just roam free when they're so sick. I'm sorry, but that should not be allowed, and some of the blame should fall on the father, because he is taking responsibility of this girl. He's making her go to rehab. So I like to say is, you know, why are we not hearing more from the father? You know, I'm not really seeing why this is being allowed. You know, the dad's not really speaking out, or maybe they're not reporting on it in the media. Guys, I don't know. I could go on all day about this, but I'm just saying society is just so fucked. We are so completely fucked because, you know, we take a look at these things that are going on, and we don't even talk about them. We don't even express concern over them. Why am I like the only one on YouTube who's really going on a whole campaign to really talk about? It's not so much about Enzo Amore. It's not so much about the wrestler. It's not so much that I'm doing this because, you know, I review WWE shows. But I'm saying, but this is a real thing facing society. The MeToo movement, you know, it's good. These fucking, you know, animals in Hollywood that force themselves on women, that blackmailed people. You know, but also the thing is, one could still turn around and say the Me Too movement is also BS as well. Because the thing is, it doesn't matter. If you are given a choice to have sex with somebody or, you know, move up the ladder, and you choose to have sex, you have committed yourself to it. Now, is this a practice that should be allowed to continue in Hollywood? Absolutely not. But they also had the choice to say no. It's not really so much that Harvey Weinstein, he might have forced himself on a couple of people. I think he might have admitted to that. But for the people who willingly had sex with that disgusting animal, that disgusting, just scum of the earth individual, that's your fault. You decided to make that career move. You decided on your own recognizance to have sex with that man because you wanted to advance your career. I'm sorry, but the justice system shouldn't really take your side on that. And I know I talked about Harvey Weinstein and everything, and I don't want to defend the man in any way, but I'm saying if you made these decisions and you willingly committed to them, that's just life. And I know that that's going to make me sound really bad to a lot of people. And I'm sorry if you feel that way. But I'm sorry, but when we have something called a justice system, we can't just cater to everybody who's just not feeling great about their decisions in life. And they just feel one day, 20 years later, oh, you know what? I don't like that decision that I made. I'm feeling bad about myself. So I think I want to reverse that by getting somebody in trouble. No, I'm sorry. It should not work that way. It should never work that way. And I really hope that in the future, it never, ever again works that way. Because the simple fact of the matter is, once you go down that rabbit hole, it's very hard to come back from it. Because, you see, in society right now, we're taking this new direction. It's a very scary direction. And it's one that's social justice. Social justice warriors, right? Where we're trying to right the wrongs of society, whether they fly in the face, you know, of our justice system and our rules and laws in this country. And that's a scary thought. We're going to start changing rules, regulations, and laws to accommodate certain people just because they made bad decisions. But bad judgment calls are a part of life, and we learn from them in the past. If somebody forced themselves on you, that is rape, and that person, you know, I'm totally on your side. That person should face everything that he's got coming to him. But if you willingly committed to a situation, drunk, high, if it's a career move or not, I'm sorry, but you can't just file a sexual harassment lawsuit or make allegations like that out of the clear blue sky just because you're feeling bad about yourself. Or because you want to use it as a means to an end, like lying to your father because you didn't make it to your your drug rehab meeting. Anyway, I've got a feeling, guys, this is not going to be the last video on this topic. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you next time, guys.